Hello and welcome to TBC episode 28. I'm your host Ben and I'm joined by nobody, just me tonight. But don't worry, you don't have to listen to just me because we've got an interview with Lyss, the organizer of HuMM BuGG Con. So let's dive right in. I'm joined by Lyss, the founder and El Presidente of HuMM BuGG Con. Thanks for joining us, Lyss.
No, thank you so much for having me, Ben, and the rest of the team.
So HuMM BuGG Con just recently happened, probably about 2, 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah, Anzac Day weekend. It's our fourth con. We started with just 20 to 40 people in our first year in 2022. And this year we hit over 150, which was just wonderful.
That's solid growth there.
Yeah, definitely. I will also mention I'm not only the founder of HuMM BuGG Con, but the community that goes with it.
Because
So
you guys have sort of weekly or regular game group meetups, right?
Yep. So we actually do both Wednesday nights and Thursday nights. So being in Albury-Wodonga, we want to be across both states. So Wednesday nights we're at a local game shop in Wodonga, and on Thursday nights we're at a pub, which is our bigger night. Last night I reckon we had about 40 people.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. And it's good because it's a pot and palmy night, so that brings people along as well. And we also have our game days at the Wodonga Library the second Sunday of the month. So we're very busy. So we just want to make sure that, if people can't make Thursday nights, that there are other options as well.
Wow, yeah, I mean, you're blowing my sort of fortnightly games on Friday out of the water.
Well, I wanted to hit the ground running when I founded Humbug because I have endometriosis. And so I had 4 months off work. And so I didn't want to just be twiddling my thumbs and feeling sorry for myself. So I'm like, I need to channel this energy and create and make a safe space for people to play board games. And I needed more board game friends. So it started off as Thursday nights at the pub, and then it just kind of blossomed from there. And I think being across both Albury and Wodonga is really helpful, because
Hmm.
we do kind of get different crowds in both. The Wednesday nights we only have about 10 or 15 people, and dads are bringing their daughters to come play games, and it's really quite nice. And that board game shop also does a lot of TCGs. So we've had a couple of TCG players come up and show their interest in it, which has been good. And yeah, the Thursday nights is our bigger night where we have lots of people, and it's really nice to see that, some people have been lurking on our Facebook for months and months, and then they decide to rock up, and then they've just dove headfirst into the community. And yeah, it's I'm very proud of it.
Right, that's great. And it's always nice to bring new people into the hobby and kind of provide a safe and welcoming space for them.
Oh, definitely.
Given that most of our listeners have probably not been to Humbug Con before, what's the kind of the aim of Humbug Con? I guess some cons it's sort of all about playing games. Some it's about like the big spectacle or something that you can hear
Mm.
panels or so on. Sometimes it's just a big shopping trip. Like if you
Yeah.
get to Essen, it's all about the games you can buy.
Mm.
Why would you come to Humbug Con?
I think the great thing about Humbug Con, and I guess also Shepherdcon and Bendigo, is you have a lot of the same crowd. When our first Humbug Con happened and we had between 20 and 40 people, 20 people were from Shep because they'd just coming out of lockdown and they're only 2 hours away, and they're like, freedom. And
Mhm.
so they've been really great supporters of us since the start. And so each year we get more and more people from Shep, and they're just a really great gaming community as well. So I think seeing familiar faces and playing games with amazing people is the main draw card.
Mhm.
We do a lot of, I guess, we do some different things that other cons don't. So we have a silent raffle that goes on in the background. So we have a lot of sponsors of games, and because Humbug doesn't have its own board game library, we actually donate all of our sponsored games back to the community. So we had 15 board games that were part of the silent raffle,
Mhm.
and they were a massive success. So people go into the draw to win, you know, whether it's modern classics or, the new hotness like Azul Duel or things like that. We were lucky enough to be given heaps of games that we can raffle off, as well as door prizes and things like that. We also have Little Plastic Fellas, which is a Shepparton based local game store. So they've come across since the start as well. And so having an on-site store is really handy. We do some scheduled teachers. We've kind of veered away from that. We did that a big thing last year and the year before, having scheduled teachers. But I think now with after game, you don't need to schedule teachers as much. People
Yep.
can put on after game that they're wanting to play this game and happy to teach, and people can just check that out. So yeah, after game was actually really big hit for us this year. We didn't really use it much last year, but it was a big hit this year. We also have a renowned storyteller from Melbourne, Jeff Setti, comes up and storytells for Blood on the Clock Tower.
Always
And
very popular at cons.
it is, yes, definitely. And he ran both beginner friendly and experienced scripts. So that was really, really good. But yeah, I think the biggest draw card for Humbug Con and just Humbug in general is our safe and welcoming community. So like when I founded it, I wanted it to be a safe space for people, regardless of experience level with board games, but also safe space for those that are queer or neurodivergent. So just making sure that everyone feels welcome.
Sure. Now, I remember speaking to you when you were first getting it set up, and you were sort of saying, look, I want to have a con so I get to play games.
Yeah.
I thought it was slightly mad having done cons and I don't get to play games at those ones. But how did you go this time around? Did you get to play some games?
This year's a bit different because I have a newborn baby.
Yep.
So little Flynn was exactly 6 weeks old at the con, and he got his 6 week injections, and he was just a champion.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I played 3 games of Blood on the Clock Tower, a game of Grand Austria Hotel, a couple of games of Things in Rings,
Oh yeah.
and
Yep.
Verdant, which
Yeah, great.
I love Verdant, so always happy to give that a crack.
Yeah, they're all
Um,
solid.
Yeah, yeah. So, and considering I was able to get a game of Grand Austria Hotel in, which went for like it was a teaching game, so it was a 2 hour game.
Yeah,
So yeah, very, very happy that I got in so many games. We're very lucky that Little Flynn's very chill.
nice. What do you think was the kind of game of the con, or one or two games of the con?
Oh, well, game of the con for Dion definitely was Things in Rings. He played it once and then bought
Yep.
it.
I mean, it's a
Um,
great little game. We haven't
yeah.
reviewed it on the pod, I don't think. I did mention that I played it at CanCon, but I think it's a really solid little.
Yeah, and it was designed by an Australian, I think.
Oh, I didn't know that bit. Partly because I
Yeah.
haven't done any research on it.
Yeah. Remove that if he's not Australian, but
Yeah, yeah, I'll edit that out.
yeah. Yeah, I think I saw a lot of people playing Things in Rings. The Shepherd crew absolutely love Foundations of Rome, so that
Okay, yep,
always gets to the table at Humbug Con and Shepherd Con. I only saw Finspan being played once. I thought that might be get to the table a bit more, just because
sure.
it's new.
Yep.
But yeah, didn't see that. Yeah, look, I'd probably say Things in Rings was the game of the con.
Yeah, I mean that's a solid little game for the
Mm.
con. I'm hopeless at it, but it's great fun.
Which part are you the good at the thinker or the knower?
I mean, the knower I find reasonably easy. You've just got to kind of follow some rules.
Yeah.
The thinker, I tend to be okay at the kind of what is it, the concept
Mm.
and the use, but I'm terrible at sort of spelling and words. So
Oh yeah.
often, often really struggle going like, oh well, if it's not a double letter, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
So,
I'm the same. If it's like a compound word, I'm like, what is this?
yeah, but it's really great. And I think it plays really well with a small and a large group, really.
For sure. We've played it at home since, even just with 3 people, and it's worked really, really well.
Yeah, nice. So if people were keen to be part of the Humbug community or join Humbug Con, son, how could they find you?
So we're on Facebook as Humbug and in brackets Happy Murray Meeples board game group. So that's what Humbug stands for.
Yep.
It took me a while to get to that acronym, actually. So the U's in Humbug don't do anything. It's So I'll do that again a bit slower. Happy Murray Meeples board game group.
Hmm.
And we are also on Instagram, but I have been a bit slack with that. But yeah, we post very, very frequently on Facebook, and that's where I show all, send out our monthly calendars and make posts about our upcoming events and things like that. We are also on Aftergame as Humbug like community,
Hmm.
um, where we're trialing putting Aftergame like Wednesdays and Thursday nights on the Aftergame app.
Yep.
And we are also working on a website.
Nice. Wow. Just in case you weren't busy enough.
Yeah, in case we weren't busy enough, that's it.
Sure. And so if someone was keen to join up, but they're maybe a little bit nervous, etc., what kind of advice?
Pretty much every week we have someone new rock up to one of our events, which is always great. The committee members are always wearing a name badge. So if people aren't sure who to go and chat to, people with name badges are the ones to find. I like to think that everyone at Humbug's really welcoming and friendly. So if you see an empty table at a game, just come up and be like, is this seat free? Can I learn how to play this game? Kind of thing. Or if you bring a game along and just if you see a couple of people just sitting and chatting, ask if they want to join. Yeah, we actually have had two ladies that I can think of that have rocked up this year. They came to their first night and since then have come every single week. They've volunteered to be part of to help out with the con. They've bought merchandise. They've just really gone headfirst into the community. So I think if you're a bit worried about it, try not to be because we're really friendly and welcoming. And I'm a firm believer in there's a board game for everyone. And so it's just about finding the people that you enjoy playing board games with and finding a board game that suits you.
Yeah, nice.
So each year I make up a pamphlet for everyone. And the
Hmm.
good thing about the pamphlet is it's also your name lanyard.
Yep.
It's got information on the front and our sponsors are on the back. We actually had 13 sponsors this year, which was incredible.
Yeah, nice.
We've got the weekend schedule.
Hmm.
And then because we've had such amazing sponsors over the last couple of years, and we want to give back to the community with the prizing and things, we run a board game bingo. So
Ah,
it's
nice.
a 4x4 grid, and if you get four in a row, you win a sticker. And then the first three people to cross off all 16 boxes win a game. And so, like, you're playing a game with someone and you're like, oh, that game surprised me. I get to tick that off. And when you complete four, you get a prize. And then if you complete all 16, you win a game, which is awesome. We had someone complete that in the first day. They played 16 games on day one, which was just nuts.
Yep. Yeah, we
So,
had
yeah,
similar at CanCon. We had a thing called Dragon's Gold where you collected gold by doing various things, and uh, people were surprisingly fast. Like you give gamers a quest, and they're just like, "Well, I'm doing that."
That's crazy. And the great thing about it is you don't have to do it. Like it's there if you want to do it, but you don't have to.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the bingo. And then we also have, I think something that's unique to us is we're doing a committee member challenge, which is kind of inspired by Pokemon that you got to catch us all.
Right. Okay.
So each of our committee members are a different color. There's seven colors. And if you play with five of us, you win a pin. And if you play with all seven, then you win a game, or the first three people win a game.
Yeah,
So
nice.
I think that is another great way of getting people to play games that they may not play normally, or that it gets them to know the committee members as well. They've got to search for us.
Yep. And like a sneaky way to make sure you're playing games, right?
Yeah, exactly. Having that committee member challenge is great for both adults and kids because we do get quite a lot of kids that come along to HuMM BuGG Con, so it's both good for adults and kids.
Yeah,
And who doesn't like winning games?
that's true. Everyone loves like just ticking boxes and getting prizes.
And the prizes for those were pretty good. There were two big prizes, Wormspan and June Imperium. there were two little prizes. So we had two copies of Piles and two copies of Flip 7.
Oh, nice.
So, and oh yeah, Flip Seven's been one of the games that's been played a lot recently too, and Forest Shuffle. So Flip Seven and Forest Shuffle have been hitting the tables both at Humbug Con and at our events.
Yeah, I feel like Flip Seven's become the unofficial mascot of the podcast at the moment. We all love
Oh,
it,
really?
and we're playing it basically every meetup.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just, I mean, it's great. It works really well with free, works well with, I think the biggest I've played it with is about 20.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it's solid at all counts.
Yeah, because it's just quick, simple,
Yeah.
and who doesn't like push your luck when it's over like that? Because I
Yeah.
don't love push your luck, but that's only in like bigger games.
Hmm.
Whereas because like you can just play another game in like 5 minutes, so it doesn't really matter if you're out.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. So, and there's enough, like the point total of 200 means if you have a shocker, you might be able to come back. Like
That's very true. And
it's
there are
just a
other
couple of
cards
good
other than
rounds.
just the numbered cards to help mitigate that as well.
Yeah, yeah, solid stuff. Cool. Well, another plus for Flip Seven from this podcast.
We're very lucky that we are on VR distribution list. So
Hmm.
each month they send us three games to give away to the community.
Nice.
Originally, they wanted us to put it towards our library, but we have decided to distribute the library because we are very fortunate enough that our local libraries actually have a board game library
Right.
that include Heat, Root, Guild of Merchant Explorers. Like it's not just Scrabble and Monopoly at our local libraries. You're
Hmm.
actually able to borrow like really good games. So we're very fortunate enough to have that. So we want that to work really well for the library so they get more funding to get more games. So
Yep.
we're getting rid of our library and then we're wanting to, when we get given games from VR distributions, we want to give it back to the community. So each month we're doing a play to win.
Nice. Yeah, VR does a really solid job at supporting the community.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, very, very lucky. And they gave us heaps of games for the convention as well. So we're, yeah, very lucky that Humbug's a part of that.
Well, thanks, Liz. It's been great to talk to you about Humbug Con, and we look forward to catching up and getting bored with you next time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Ben, and the team. It's been great chatting, and I'm always happy to talk people's ears off about board games and Humbug as well. So yeah, thank you so much for letting me talk about HumbugCon and Humbug.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been another episode of The Board Crew. Thanks for listening. Join the conversation by rolling over to our socials. Just search The Board Crew on Facebook.
The cons have a kind of cooperation spirit rather than a competitive, like, we're going to try and beat you. I mean,
Oh,
there's a little bit
definitely.
of friendly rivalry between CanCon and PlayCon, but
Well, being the two biggest in Australia, it's comes with a territory, I think.
yeah, they still need our library, so I reckon they still have to bow down to us for a little while anyway.